The Vedas are one of the earliest known texts to have composed in India. The language of the Vedas is described as Vedic Sanskrit. The Vedas are four. Rig is the oldest, others being Yajur, Sama, and Atharva. The Vedic texts were memorized and orally transmitted by Brahmins from generation to generation. They were written down in the later period after the introduction of writing. The earliest known written manuscripts of the Vedas date to the 10th to 11th century CE. They contain information about the polity, society, religion, and philosophy, and they were a source of for writing history. The main collections of Vedic hymns are called Samhitas. Rig Vedic Samhita is the earliest text. The Rig Veda is dated to between 1500 and 1000 BCE. The Rig Veda contains 10 books. Books 2 to 7 are the earliest, and the books 1, 8, 9, and 10 are assigned to a later period. Samhitas are ritualistic texts and they explain the social and religious importance of rituals. Each Samhita has added texts called Brahmanas, which have commentaries on the hymns and rituals. Each Brahmana has an Aranyaka forest text and an Upanishad. The Aranyakas contain mystical ritual instructions to be undertaken in secret by the sages who live in the forest. Upanishads deal with philosophical inquiries. The Yajur, Sama, and Atharva Vedas are dated to a slightly later period. The Samhitas of the Sama, Yajur, and Atharva Vedas and the Brahmanas, Aryankas, and Upanishads attached to the Vedas are late Vedic texts. The Sama Veda is composed in musical notes. The Yajur Veda has rituals and hymns. The Atharva Veda contains charms and magical spells. The pre-Harappan cultures are the earliest Chalcolithic cultures of India, and they are found in the time before the beginning of the mature phase of the Harappan culture and continue to exist in the later period. The other Chalcolithic cultures of India are more or less contemporary to this phase of Harappan culture, and they continued even after its decline. Unlike the mature urban phase of the Harappan civilization, Chalcolithic cultures were pastoral and based on farming, generally rural in nature. They used copper and stone blades and pottery and also low-grade iron in the later period. Their settlements were sedentary or semi-sedentary. In the northwestern and western regions of India, the early farming cultures are associated with the Chalcolithic cultures rather than the Neolithic cultures. The Chalcolithic people began to domesticate animals in addition to agriculture. They had cattle, sheep, pigs, goats and buffaloes. Evidence had found turtles and fowls in their settlements. The houses were made of stone, mud bricks, mud and perishable wooden materials and built on a stone foundation. The walls were made with bamboo frames. Silos, well prepared pits meant for storage of grains have also been found. People used black and red ware and black on red ware for pottery. These sites have produced a large quantity of copper objects. They used copper objects such as flat axes, bangles, rings, antimony rods, knives, blades, socketless axes, barbed and tanged arrowheads, choppers and chisels. Ochre-colored pottery ware culture is found in the northern India dating to the Chalcolithic period. The ochre-colored pottery has red slip and appears ochre in color. The ochre color comes off when the pottery is touched and hence it is called ochre-colored pottery. It has black painted designs. The ochre-colored pottery comes in the form of jars, storage jars, bowls and basins. The OCP culture dates to 2600 to 1200 BC and is found in the Indo-Gangetic plain and may have some associations with early Vedic culture. The OCP culture is seen as an impoverished Harappan culture and some scholars see it as unrelated to the Harappan culture. OCP sites produced copper figures and objects and therefore it is known as copper ore culture. It is a rural culture and has evidence of the cultivation of rice, barley and legumes. They also had pastoralism with evidence of cattle, sheep, goats, pigs, horses and dogs. The villages had wattle and dog houses. They used copper and terracotta ornaments. Animal figurines have been found. The southern part of India has not produced cultural evidence of a full-fledged Chalcolithic culture. Perforated and spouted vessels have been found in some sites. Copper bronze tools like chisels and flat axes occur at these sites. Stone tools continue to be used in this area. Black and red ware pottery is found. These people survived through animal rearing and then agriculture. Millets, pulses, and horse gram were cultivated, and fruits, leaves, and tubers were collected. Iron Age in North India coincides with the painted graveware culture. The painted graveware is dated from 1100 to 800 BCE. More than 1,000 sites have been identified with painted graveware pottery in northern India, with a major concentration in the Ganga Yamuna Valley. The painted graveware culture succeeded the black and red ware culture in the eastern Ganga Valley and central India. The pottery was fine grey in color with painted geometric designs. The painted graveware laid the foundation of the earlier political kingdoms. It correlates with the Kuru Panchala kingdom known as the Vedic texts. The painted graveware cultural phase is followed by northern black polished ware culture, which is associated with the Mahajanapada and Mauryan periods. The painted graveware sites reveal the development of agriculture and pastoralism, and the settlements of this period grew in dimension. They show a large scale population increase in the northern part of India. The Iron Age in India was civil with painted graveware culture, and in South India it was associated with megalithic burial mounds. Iron Age in Tamil Nadu, followed by the people of Neolithic period. The burial system followed by the people of Neolithic period continued into the Megalithic period. A circular tomb was built upon the place of burial is known as megaliths. Such megaliths have been found in many parts of Tamil Nadu. The urn burial system was another practice and is evidence in Adichanallur, present Thoothukudi district. Blackware is peculiar to burial sites in Tamil Nadu. Interestingly, blackware is found in burial grounds and not in human habitations. In majority of urn burials, the use of stone is almost non-existent. However, urn burials are grouped under megalithic because the materials, the pottery, iron objects, beads of semi-precious stones kept in them are identical to those found in the stone burials. The end of megalithic burial practices assigned to the 3rd century CE. During this period, Brahmi writing akin to Ashokan Brahmi has been discovered in Kodumanal, Erode district. This is also evidence of the megalithic tradition continuing into later centuries. During the Sangam period, people still remembered urn burials. The 4 primitive hero stones with Tamil Brahmi inscriptions datable to 3rd to 2nd centuries BCE found in the upper part of the Vaigai Valley support the authenticity of the hero stones tradition described in the Sangam literature in the context of cattle race. Scholars infer based on such evidence that some of the Sangam poems could be assigned to the early 1st century BC or a little earlier. The tradition of erecting hero stones in memory of dead warriors heroes is considered to be an extension of the menhir type of megalithic tradition. In his upright monumental stones and dolmens made of big slabs and boulders or megalithic tombs found in Tamil Nadu. Black and red were, along with partial human remains and iron objects, were unearthed recently at Vadamkunda in Krishnagiri, Tamil Nadu. A few stone slabs are also found at the site. A centuries-old menhir at Singaripalayam, excavated near Kundadam in Tirupur district, points to the existence of an ancient settlement along the banks of river Uppar. Adichanallur, 22 km from Tirunelveli, is located in Thoothukudi district. In 1876, a German ethnologist and naturalist, Andrew Jaguar, conducted an excavation at Adichanallur. He carried with him samples of baked earthenware utensils of all sizes and shapes, a considerable number of iron weapons and implements, and great quantities of bones and skulls. They are now housed in Berlin Museum. The collector of Tirunelveli, A.J. Stewart, and famous linguist Bishop Robert Caldwell visited Adichanallur, subsequently found it was a squat site. Quarrying was immediately banned and archaeological excavation commenced under the supervision of Alexander Rea. Rea prepared a comprehensive account of his findings illustrated by photographs and was published in the annual report of the Archaeological Survey of India 19 Uh, Now, 2 to 1903, nearly 100 years later, the ASI carried out another excavation and brought out more information. The burial mound at Adichanallur yielded the following: the urns and pottery of various kinds in large numbers, iron implements, including spades and weapons, some stone beads and few gold ornaments, bronze objects representing domestic animals such as buffalo, goat, or sheep and cock, traces of cloth and wood. The engraving of animals on bronze and ornaments is indicative of the primitive workmanship. Caldwell could stumble upon a camphor bangle during his inspection at the site. The people were evidently skillful in molding pottery, in casting or brassing metals, in weaving and in working stone, and with the presence of rice and millet indicates domestication of these grains. Iron weapons were used for both war and for animal sacrifices. The discovery of sacrificial implements prompted Caldwell to conclude that the people of Adichanallur were not adherents to Vedic religion. Payampally is a village located in Tirupattur district. The Archaeological Survey of India carried out an excavation in the 1960s and unearthed the black and red pottery in the megalithic site. A large number of urn burials were also found in this region. The date of this culture, based on radiocarbon dating, is 1000 BCE. Udumanal, 40 km from Erode, is located on the north bank of Noyal River, a tributary of the Kaveri. A series of excavations were carried out in the 1980s and 1990s. The most recent was in 2012. Inhabitation trenches and megalithic burials of Kodumanal. The goods unearthed include the pots, weapons, tools, ornaments, and beads, particularly cornelian, akin to those found at Mohenjo-daro. Since cornelian was not known to this region in the ancient times, it may have been brought to Kodumanal from outside. In the Sangam work, Paditrupata, a place called Kodumanam belonging to Chera king, is praised for gemstones, and some archaeologists argued that Kodumanam is the ancient name of Kodumanal. Hoards of Roman coins have been discovered, and it is believed that this result of export of gemstones to the Roman world, resulting in large return of huge inflow of gold from the latter into the region. Conches and bangles, remnants of furniture, a kiln for filled with ash wood, and potsherds with Tamil Brahmi inscriptions are other finds in the site. Pit burials, urn burials, and chamber tombs of different types excavated at Kodumanal, and the names inscribed in potsherds may indicate habitation by multi-ethnic groups. The graffiti etched on potsherds give a lot of information about the people and their activities. A menhir found at the burial site is assigned to the megalithic period. According to Y. Subbarayulu, Kodumanal is civil the Sangam anthologies.